of you who are Jane Austen fans, there's a very famous quote from the start of Pride and Prejudice, which is that it's a fact universally known that a single man in possession of a fortune must be in want of a wife. So I'm just plagiarising that a little bit with the fact that actually it's a truth universally acknowledged that a brand investing money in advertising must be in want of a return. But sometimes, actually, that doesn't appear to be the case. And actually, you know, in some ways, proving the link between advertising and return is, in theory, much easier than ever before with the advent of digital marketing, providing a seemingly easy way to establish that link, but it's not that simple. And there's no doubt that digital marketing has brought with it many advances, but I think there have been several unhelpful side effects, if you like, of digital marketing. There's a tendency to focus on intermediate measures as if they were end goals in and of themselves, and all of those things like likes and shares and all the rest of it. But in reality, those don't have a direct commercial value for brands, at least not in immediate effect. There's an unhealthy focus on last action driving sales when we know that there are multiple influences, both offline and online, along the consumer journey. We are still physical beings living in a physical world. Digital enables lots of things, but we are still physical. And the volume of available data that sort of, you know, combined with marketeers' need for short-term indicators of advertising success has also led to a very disturbing focus on short-term sales response. I'm not going to go into that because that's been covered already. And, you know, in some ways, sales are relatively easy to achieve, but profitable sales that build brand value on the balance sheet are the thing that are much harder to achieve. The other angle to this is that I think the digital has turned back the measurement clock. The illusion of precision that we get from digital has led to a belief that media channels that can't provide an immediate answer or don't provide that definitive what happened next are somehow less effective. And one particular issue, and Vanessa's raised this already, is this sort of digital advertising is treated as this amorphous mass with little or no effort made to separate it out into its component parts. Not all digital display is the same, even though a lot of the way that we plan and buy is treats it like it is. And, you know, programmatic bidding, while it's helped in some ways, it's also led, the stripping out of context, leading to lower returns and potentially damaging issues around brand health. Now, all media are digital these days. There's not that sort of definitive line between offline and online these days. But we believe actually that lack of separation in sort of digital display has caused the biggest issue for news brands among all of the media channels out there. Readership of news brands is growing, and a lot of that growth is on digital platforms. So if we can't measure the impact of digital news brands as well as in print, then we are underestimating the true power and we're not presenting the whole picture. We've mentioned ThinkBox and Radio Centre already this morning, and they've done some great work in this area. But both of those studies, online display was treated as one. It did not separate out digital news brands. So we felt, and we'd already started on this journey before those studies came out, but we believe that we need to take that work a step further and look at the impact of digital news brands. So that's one of the key things which Vanessa's already talked about. So 3 things about the study. So we've talked about this already, but this is for the very first time we're doing this, and I'm so excited because when we've launched studies before, particularly when we launched the previous RO study, that's great, you know, print's effective, but what about digital? So I'm so excited that we're able to do this for the first time. And we know from other work that we've done at Newsworks that digital news brands are different to the long tail of digital advertising. People spend longer with them. People have a higher propensity to look at and dwell on the ads. And recent neuroscience work we did in conjunction with the AOP shows that actually the advertising in digital news brands is much more likely to be committed to long-term memory and not forgotten in an instant, as it could be with some of the long-tail advertising. Talk about focus on profit. And, you know, that's something I think that, you know, advertisers, agencies, businesses, is so important. And it's one of the primary indicators of marketing success. So we've updated our work, we've looked and we've moved from just simply looking at revenue ROI to looking at profit ROI. And the third angle is this wider market coverage. this is, again, one of the things I'm very excited about with this study, is that we're not limited to the usual suspects of categories where there are enough cases to be able to do separate analysis. For the very first time, we can cover such a wide range of different categories. So for the vast majority of brands, they'll be able to look at which category their brand is in, and they'll be able to look at what is the optimum level of investment in both print and digital news brands to drive overall campaign profitability. So it's hugely important, and Sally will take you exactly through how we did that. I won't steal her thunder, but needless to say, we'll be trying to make sure that this is as action as possible across the industry.